in, we doing it big. Yeah, exotic chicks and damn they bad. AK the king, Marie the queen. Okay, yeah, we rep the sports and breed the team. We plugged in, we doing it big. Yeah, exotic chicks and damn they bad. AK the king, Marie the queen. Okay, yeah, this is blood music. For the pin and the black top, never wrong, we straight drop. Put on for your city outreaches worldwide. No haters, out love. You wanna put on, prove just pull up. Historian, out trust. Created the space to build with our love.
All right, hey, what's up, everyone? This is your girl Mighty. We got another episode for you guys at AKM for Life podcast. We got my girl RaKail today. RaKail, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
So, little background story, right? So RaKail's husband and AK are at Ferguson together, so that's how we connected. So I think it's I think it'll be interesting to talk about all the connections you build when you are like a prison wife or prison girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you've met like a lot of other people because of him, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so it happens to me all the time. You know how many people I've met because of AK? He'd be like, "Oh yeah, or hit this person up, or this and this and that, or we gotta connect with this person," and then now we know like a lot of people, right? So you
Girl, I can
understand?
only imagine. Yes.
Yes. So where are you at right now? Like, did you say you had visit today?
Yes, I had visit today, but I'm back here in Texarkana at the time. I'm just stopping and getting it taken care of and resting at this
Yeah.
point because we're busy.
Yeah, but I remember when I seen AK. I think it was the end of January that I was out there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so exciting. And I've never been to the unit. That was my first time going to Ferguson. I think the last time I had seen it was at Hughes unit. But
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't like you hear stories like some of these prison group wives talk about, oh, they make you turn around and change your clothes and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean, from my experience, everything seemed pretty, like everybody was pretty nice. So
Yeah, I tell people for the most part, I mean, you hear crazy stories about prison, period, but for the most part, you going to, see your significant other, but all the extra dressing up, you can be cute, but kind of be simple because it's not really hard to get through as long as you're not showing, too much and you're kind of being appropriate at the same time.
like I remember AK had told me once he had a girl go visit him like a long time ago, and that she came in
Hmm.
looking all bopped up with a short dress and all types of shit, right? And they had her put a gown on. I was like, wow.
Wow. Yeah. See, usually now I know I've seen a few women, but usually kind of depend on your shape because if you kind of thick, with curves and all of that, they don't want you to wear
Yeah.
things that someone just pretty much a lot smaller will be able to wear. Like the fitted clothes, they kind of strict on that. But if it's jeans and a graphic t-shirt, for the most part, you fine.
I just think that's kind of like not fair. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say I'm wearing the same outfit as some skinny girl and an
Yes.
hour, and it's just gonna look different on me. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
like, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that.
And I've definitely seen it. It was probably about a month ago. A girl came in. It was two women in front of me, and one of them was sitting home. What she did, she was, had a nice shape or whatever, but they both had
Yeah.
on bodysuits. So they literally made her go. And then most people know most of the prisons are out just in the open. So to go find a store close by, I think the closest Walmart is like 25, 30 minutes away. So at that
From
point,
Ferguson?
yeah, from Ferguson, it's about because it's
Mm.
over in Madisonville, I think it's called. So
Oh,
for her to
yeah.
have to drive there and drive back, she's losing time. But the other girl
Mm.
got to go straight in. So I didn't have it wasn't my issue, but I
Yeah.
did kind of speak on it because I said, that's kind of it's unfair.
Right. There's a lot of unfair stuff that happens. Like, you don't realize it
Hmm.
until you actually have a loved one there. You know what I mean? That you're like,
Right,
what? Like,
right.
what goes on? You guys didn't get fed? What? You know what I mean? So and I understand people have like a certain view about people that are in prison. Like, well, people in prison belong in prison. They're in prison for a
Yes.
reason. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? There's a lot of, as you know, there's a lot of people that have been wrongfully accused, convicted, or they've just been given like a draconian sentence just because of the color of their skin sometimes too, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Just
true.
because you're brown or Latino, black, Latino, or whatever, sometimes they just let the hand drop on you, you know what I mean? Because of that, you know?
Yeah,
So
and I tell people when it comes to that, a lot of people gonna always have something to speak on. But like you said, until you're actually in that position, you can't. It's kind of tough. It's best that you just keep your comments to yourself, because, like you said, it's a lot of people that's wrongly convicted, or pretty
Mhm.
much anything. They might have just been placed in a situation they could have been fighting for their lives, or a loved one, and then
Mhm.
they end up in a bad situation. But everybody that's in prison is not a horrible person, for sure.
Right. Or sometimes you're just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and you just
Right.
get caught up. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it's I think being in a prison relationship. I don't know if this is my first time being in a prison relationship with somebody, and it's I mean, for the most part, besides for the part that he's not physically here, you still go through it like a regular
Oh
relationship.
yeah.
Like
Oh
you still
yeah.
just like you argue with somebody out here. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
always something that goes on, you know what I'm saying, even though you're not physically there, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
And I
there's relationships up here that also have, let's say, a lot of people have trust issues, cheating issues. That happens out here in the world too. It's not just because you're locked up and he's
yes.
out or vice versa, you know what I mean?
I definitely agree with that. I tell people all the time, they always ask like, how do you do it for, like you said, the physical part of it, or and I tell people a lot of times when you dating somebody out in the real world, as they call
Hmm.
it, half the time you laying next to somebody that's sleeping with somebody else or doing other stuff, behind your back.
Yes,
So you might as well be laying by yourself anyway. So
right.
everybody, I tell everybody, everything in life happens for a reason. So just because he's not there physically, mentally, emotionally, and all of that, he definitely plays a huge part in it. Of course, we get lonely at times, and we may cry, or go into a slight depression. Some
Hmm.
people go into deep depressions, but for the most part, it's like you said, it's pretty much all the same. It's gonna be the same issues. You just
Right.
gotta stay prayed up and convince each other that the trust is there and the communication is very important.
Yeah, I agree. Like I know there's been times when I cannot have gone through it and we're just going through it, and I remember one time he said, well, we need to start praying, so for like a little while we would
Yes.
before we would look, he's like how much right before the call was about to hang up, we would alternate, like he would pray one day and then I would do the other day and every other day like that, you know what I mean? And we kept that up for a little while. You know what I mean? But I feel like that helps if you're married. That blessings, even he blesses both of you in one. You know what I'm saying? So I feel
Yeah.
like that does help a lot. Right now, AK's a Muslim, right? So he's doing the Ramadan.
Our Ramadan
So
right now.
yeah, so I'm fasting right now with him too, right? So I'm
Yes,
about to
that's
break my
crazy. It
fast in
started
a
on
little bit.
11.
So yeah, so it's been a
Okay.
little rough, but I mean, it's been okay now. Like you get the hang of it.
Right. Do you always do it with him?
I did it once before, and I think I only lasted like 2 weeks, and then I just broke. You know what I mean? So this time,
Yeah.
I'm planning on actually going like the whole Ramadan and going through it. I feel like that's in a way supporting him too. Like you know what I mean?
hmm
Because he runs a class over at Ferguson, right? So
Okay.
so I don't get to talk to him as much as I usually do. But I feel like if it wasn't because I'm actually going like doing the Ramadan with him, like I wouldn't have understood why is he not calling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I get it. Like I get it. Like they got something going on and they feast later on. So then,
hmm
but so
But yeah,
how
when
long
you
have?
do things like that, I see that, like you said, supporting him, that definitely plays a huge part, because it's crazy. Right before the Ramadan started, we actually just finished a 21-day fast. And the
Oh,
first
okay.
time, like you said, we were supposed to do 21 days, and it was like we argued every day. So it's like, this not fasting. This is not helping at all. But this
Yeah.
time around, we actually broke it down, and you got to be better for yourself in order to be better for your marriage. So we did
Yeah.
things that we need to work on separately, and then things we need to work on together. And the 21 days, when I say it changed a lot, like we a lot better than where we were with like 2.5 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed a big change in AK in the last couple of years, like a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
he was just so, I don't know, he was more, how should I say it? He wasn't like more on edge, but he was just kind of like more in your face type of thing. Like he's
Yeah.
got that, you can sense the aggressiveness on the phone, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just like, I'm like, dude, I'm like, I feel like you're just gonna bust through the phone or something. Like, relax. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, so you just feel the energy, right? But I understand the
hmm
environment that they're in too. You know what I mean? There might have been CEOs being assholes, or somebody
Yeah.
that they're getting into it. So it's understandable because sometimes, you know, man, I just got mad to this dude or blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, but also, and it goes by versa with me. If I'm having like a bad day and then I'm like, oh,
Yes.
I'll be like, oh, and then I'm over here being kind of like you giving him attitude, you know, but I know it's, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll give him attitude.
Yes.
He's like, man, what's wrong with you, Manny? And I'm like, oh, I'm like, nothing, you know what I mean? But it's not just, it's
You sound
because, you
like
know, I
me.
think we're humans, right? So
Yeah.
we go through it our own ways. But at the end of the day, we know we locked in, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the hardest parts outside of them not being here, being having to deal with the whole, the vibe and everything, because what you're feeling, obviously they're not there with you. And then what they're feeling, we're not with them. So anytime, we can all be having a good day, but if something go wrong in either environment, like you said, it throws it off. And I hate
Mhm.
it because it's like, especially, I don't know if the other units, I don't know what their system is like, but at Ferguson, they have the worst system in heating and
Mhm.
air, and
Oh
so it's
yeah.
getting ready to be hot outside.
Hmm.
So we
Yeah.
crack our jokes, but it's like literally. So I'm always watching the what do you
The
call it, the
temp.
forecast? Yeah,
Yeah.
and I tell him like it's getting ready to warm up. We going back into prayer. He like, wait,
I
like
know.
your
Well,
attitude is
yes.
horrible.
Hmm.
He get on the phone agitated, and he wanna, if somebody in there make him mad, he agitates. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, and I'm just hanging up. And then the same thing with me. If he, like you said, he get on the phone with me and I got an attitude, he hang up. But I think that's best. We be frustrated, but I think it's best
Yeah.
because then like 5 minutes later he's calling back and I'm like, okay, let's start over.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
Hmm.
happens, you know. So it's nice to be able to relate that, you know, I'm not just the
Yeah.
one, we're not the one just going at it on the phone and hanging up on you. Like, obviously, I hang up, but he has to call me right back, right?
Right.
So I can't call you back.
And
You
that's the
gotta
hard
call me.
part.
Yeah. So
Because
it's
I'll
like
hang up,
some,
I'll be like, dang, why did I do it? Now I can't call back. Wait a second.
right, you know, but he, you know, for the most part, there's pros and cons, right? What do you
Yes.
think are some of the pros of dating somebody or being in a relationship, being with somebody that's in a relationship that's currently incarcerated?
In my opinion, it really depends on the person. Like you said about AK, how you seen his growth. CJ's only been in, it hasn't even been, well, in the under TDC, it hasn't even been a full year just yet. But within these past what 7, well, probably we're probably like 8 9 months now. Like it's been a
Hmm.
huge difference. Like you said, he's not
Yeah.
as of aggressive as he usually is. He
Hmm.
actually stopped and has a lot more self control. He's focusing
Hmm.
more on his career and not worrying about other things or what other people have to say with the negativity. So I feel like them going through that make, for one, it builds them up, but it also teaches them a lot of self control because you're
Hmm.
surrounded by a lot of negativity in prison anyway. So just because these people over here want to
Yeah.
have a ride over tissue or what do they call it, chow or whatever, that don't mean you have to entertain it just because that's your group of friends or your group of associates at the
Right.
time. Stick to what you know
Hmm.
best and you go on about your day. So
Yeah.
them being able to teach us stuff and then us teaching them from the outside world, and this, it kind of balance each other out in the end.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important to have like support out here in the world, like whether it's
Yes.
family or, you know, their relationship with their wife and girlfriends, because, you know what I mean, it's hard. I mean, life out here is hard as it is, you know, going through it. You know, I can't even imagine
Right.
even, you know, being locked up the whole time and not being able to go anywhere, even if you wanted to. Like I'll be home and I'm like, damn, I'm bored. I want to go somewhere. You know, I don't want to be here. And I have the choice
Yes.
to obviously get up and go and at least go outside or something. But, you know what I mean? They just kind of have to like, you just got to stay there. You got to stay put. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
So,
you kind of don't
you know, so,
realize how it is. We take a lot of things for granted, but once they're in their
mhm,
situation, like you said, we might sit up and say we're bored, but then I'll say it out loud, and he'll say, "Well, at least you can get up and go somewhere." And people usually say, "Oh, well, he just doing it trying to make you feel bad." And when you really think about it, like, no, it's true. Be careful what you
mhm.
complain about, because there's always someone out there with it, much harder than what you have it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I haven't done no real time like prison time, but I mean, I've gone to like booking and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
even then, just a little bit, a few days, I'll be like, damn, like I can't even, you have no, you lose your privacy, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you can't go poop or not do anything like that because everybody's, you know, you
Right.
got somebody there smelling shit, you know, so it's like, So it's like, I guess it's the little things like that, that just being simple, going to the bathroom by
Yes.
yourself, you know what I mean? With nobody
Yes.
bothering you, or you worried about somebody just running up to you type of thing, you know?
Right. Yes. That, you're not lying, because girl, I hear some crazy stuff over the phone, and I'm just like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here? But for the most part, we kind of sit back and just we pushing through the process. It's not easy, but that's
Yeah,
part of going through the journey.
exactly. And I feel like, you don't, like I said, this is my first time ever being in a relationship with somebody that's like locked up,
Yes.
and it just kind of happened too, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it wasn't like we were out here and he just got locked up and I just been holding him down. Like, we met while he was
Yeah.
incarcerated, you know what I mean? So, um,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, so we met while incarcerated, and
Okay.
so I mean, when we connected on, I think we connected on Facebook a long time ago, 2019. I was like, I was just bored at home, and then
Mhm.
we just started talking, and I was just like, oh, okay, it was like I wasn't pursuing. I had been single for 2 years, like I was not trying to pursue anything. I was just
Mhm.
talking, and from talking and talking, you just kind of like just got to know him, and then just started
Mhm.
doing planning things, and it's just now it's like going on to like, it's like 4 years later now, and just like what happened.
Wow.
Sometimes I'm on the phone with him and I tell him, I'm like, I just realized that I've been knowing you for too long, you know what I mean? And
But
he's
it
like,
do seem like it's a lifetime though. Like within those
yeah,
small amount of years, it definitely seems longer than what it is. Because you said you
yeah.
guys are at 4, right?
Yeah, it's going. This August is going to be 5 years that we know each other and stuff. So,
Oh, see, yeah,
that's a
and
long
we haven't
time.
even known each other that long.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, it's been a long time. So,
Yeah.
but like as I'm saying, I've seen the change in him in the
Mhm.
last, you know what I mean? I've seen him change and grow so much, you know what I'm saying? Like before I don't know, even like when we first met, he would talk about female sex, calling like bitches, and you know what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
he was like, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
that's so
dude, I'm like, you
annoying.
can't be calling females. You got a mom and a daughter, and at that time he
Right.
didn't have a granddaughter, but I mean, you can't just be calling any woman a bitch or a hoe or anything. He wouldn't call me that because I
Right.
was I would never pick up, but he but that's something that he changed, where he doesn't
Yeah.
address women as that, unless for some reason it's like some real bogus CEO
Yeah,
that's
it
really
gotta be
out there
like
doing
real
him, you know what I mean? But other
alpha.
than that, he does
Yeah.
not address women as that anymore, you know what I mean? And that took a little while to, but it's stuff like that, and like just other things that I've just seen him, like I see he's not patient, so now he's definitely more patient, you know what I'm saying? So you can see
Yeah.
the change, and by just having somebody there support, like emotionally, you
Right.
know what I mean?
I definitely agree. We've only actually, what are we in? What's today? We're in March now.
March, yeah.
So actually this month actually makes 3 years. Our
Okay.
story is a lot
Yeah.
is very unique. We only knew each other about 5 days. We spent only 5 days with each other physically out in the real world.
Okay.
And he ended up leaving my home. We met on Facebook first, start there. We
Facebook, I'm
communicated.
telling you,
Yes,
Facebook's the
boy,
matchmaker.
that's the matchmaker of the world. But we
Yeah.
started communicating a little bit, and then it kind of went from there. One day, I'm a hairstylist, so one day I was finishing up a
Hmm.
client and just going out enjoying my weekend. Like you said, at the time I had only been single for literally like around two
Hmm.
years, not
Yeah.
pursuing anything. I had friends, but it wasn't anything serious. And he reached out to let me know that he was in town where I was, because I live in Arkansas. Once again, he's from Texas. So he came down. We spent 5 days together. He ended up having to leave. And then that was in February. The next time we literally saw each other again, he was already in prison in the county
Damn.
jail. Yeah. So we literally went up until he was sentenced in April. So we went into what, like maybe June, until we actually got that was this past year,
Hmm.
2023, until we actually got to physically touch each other again, kiss and do
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
But throughout that time, we got married December 22nd, and then that was right before he was sentenced. So everything kind of fell into place. People ask
Hmm.
crazy questions, like how can
Yeah.
you marry somebody you only spent 5 days
Hmm.
with? And I tell people, I've spent 7 years with somebody and hate them from the inside. I know that's a strong word.
Hmm.
Dislike them
Yeah.
from the inside out. I was engaged in the past and literally
Hmm.
rolling over looking at somebody like, ew. But it was once you get to know somebody and
Yeah.
you see that they can build you up, you can build them up, and the support is there equally. You can pretty much do anything together.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's people, people say ask me the same question. How can you I have homegirls that be like, dude, like how you gonna wait for this dude and he gets out and he's gonna be out here cheating on you and all types of things. You know what I
Yes,
mean? I'm like, well, I mean, that can happen even if I'm dating somebody out here or not, dudes
right,
are cheating, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's irrelevant. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's like, and you got to live one day at a time. You know what I mean? I can't worry about what he's going to do when he gets out. When it
That's
comes, it
true.
comes. It is what it is. And I told him, like, look, I mean, like I said, one day at a time right now. I love you and I want to be with you. I don't know what the next 5 minutes is going to bring. Nobody knows, right? I
That's
only
true.
have control of what I can do right now,
That's
and
true.
and hopefully, like I said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, then I guess it's what it is, you know what I mean?
Well, I tell
So
everybody,
far, I mean,
when you
it's
go
been
through it or
pretty,
not,
it's taken
it'll
long.
be a lesson.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when do you get to go visit your man again, your husband?
Um, it'll probably be the first weekend in April. Because once again, I'm a hairstylist. We usually go. My drive is 5.5 hours there, and then 5.5 back, of course. So we
Okay.
usually only go maybe twice a month, sometimes
Hmm.
3 times a month. But that's a lot, especially with dealing with other things. I have one
Hmm.
biological child and two stepchildren, so that's
Hmm.
three children we taking care of. On top of
Yeah.
him being incarcerated, so baby, somebody got to provide.
Yeah, exactly. So what do
Yes,
you do
ma'am.
again? You say you're a hairstylist?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a hairstylist. I specialize in braiding and locks. Also, we are both best-selling authors. We try
Yeah.
to. That's something we're moving into as of the beginning January of this year. We both became best-selling authors. I have an anthology out called Joy 365, along with several other ladies. It's basically a devotional book, and
Okay.
also it gives affirmations, daily
Hmm.
affirmations. And then my husband CJ, his is King's Conversations, and it's also an anthology with other adults, well, young men and grown men, basically teaching
Okay.
different lessons to men, on
Hmm.
whether it's something that they were taught being brought up or lessons that they just want to give out, just life lessons, period. So that's something that we're trying to continue to build with publishing companies and all of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's it's really interesting to see um these guys, be so creative in their writing. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It's just, yeah, it blows my mind how much talent is incarcerated. So that's why we do a lot of stuff, for people that are incarcerated, so that we can
Uh-huh.
get their voice out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I said, you know what I mean, you can't physically be free, but we can free your work, we can free your mind by
Right.
being able to publish, you know what I mean, your books or in poems and art, you know what I mean, anything that these
Yeah.
guys are able to do and use your time. Because I mean, there's people, obviously, as you know, there's people out there that they just spend their time just not doing anything productive, period,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's in there or whether it's out here. But
Mm-hmm.
prep to the guys that do actually go in there, they're in there and they're actually focusing their time and energy on something, other than just planning the next fight or setting somebody up type of thing. You know what
Yeah,
I
that's
mean?
also earlier you mentioned speaking on the pros, like you said, that's actually one of the pros. Once again, it's not being negative, but they have nothing but time depending on their sentence that was given. So if they utilizing their time, in a fashionable
Mhm.
manner, that gives them time to bring out a lot of creativity. Use their creativity, whether it's making music, books, drawing, tattooing, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Some people, I heard some guy in there was making jewelry or something he was doing, and
Wait, at
cups and
Ferguson?
things. Yeah, CJ
Oh
said
no.
some guy was making jewelry or something. It's a class he said that they have.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
know they have classes like that there.
I think they do. I think
Um,
AK told me there's a class for jewelry or something.
Yeah.
Cause
So
yeah.
that stuff is like real creative, and I tell them all the time, utilize that time because while you sitting there, you
Hmm.
building yourself up. Build
Yeah.
your testimony and your creativity, all your craft, all together.
Yeah. That's what I tell. Well, AK, he's well rounded.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you definitely use that time to do everything you can learn. And because when you're out here in the motion doing things at the regular routine, like sometimes
Yeah.
there's not enough time that you actually have as you have when you're locked up to do things. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So, man, all the reading you can do it now.
Yes. Because we order a lot of books. I actually got
Yeah.
to place an order tonight. So yes, you're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, but can you want to shout out your social media accounts?
Yeah, on pretty much all social media from Facebook, Instagram, um, what else? Look, basically anything. It's always RaKail Carter. And like I said, I'm a hairstylist specializing in braiding and locks, and we're both authors, and his is under CJ Carter. If you guys would like to order any books or have any questions, you can just DM or inbox any page, and we'll go from there with responding. Well, I'll go from there with responding.
Yeah, so make sure y'all check it out. I'm gonna have the links down below so you guys can go and check them out. But it was nice having you on the podcast.
Yes.
And look forward to building with you guys. With you guys going on with the books and anything else we can work on to collaborate with together. So, but everybody, we're out. It's AKM for life. Get down, stay down, or move around.
Yes, I love that.
Oh gosh! All right, well, everybody have a safe Saturday.
Bye.
Free AK, free AK, AKM Publishing.
It's that AKM music, man.